Product recommendation systems in retail analytics. Learn how e-commerce platforms make product recommendations using real retail data. Recommendation systems boost sales by showing the right products to customers, improving both marketing and inventory usage. You will build and evaluate simple and advanced product recommendation logic, learning which products customers are most likely to buy together. No specialized machine learning libraries are needed, all logic will be built step by step. Running the cell now. We import pandas to work with our retail datasets. We import NumPy for numerical operations and data simulation. We import warnings to control warning messages. We turn off warnings to make our output clearer. Running the cell now. Key retail analytics concepts. Retail datasets track transactions, orders, products, and customer details. Every sale records the product, customer ID, date, quantity, and price. Beginners often confuse order level and item level data or miscalculate revenue by using quantity only. Working with the right aggregation and grouping is key for recommendation systems. Running the cell now. We are using the real-world online retail transactions dataset from the UCI repository. We load the dataset directly from the online source. We read the retail transactions data for the year 2010 to 2011. We convert the invoice date column to proper date-time format. We print the shape of our dataset to see how many rows and columns we have. We preview the first 3 transactions to understand the data. Running the cell now. This output shows the loaded retail dataset contains over 541,000 rows and 8 columns, capturing detailed item-level transactions. Notice that each row records a single product within an order, including quantity, price, customer ID, and timestamp, highlighting the distinction between orders and individual items, which is crucial for accurate revenue calculations and later aggregation steps in retail analytics. Try exploring the last few rows of the data with retail_df.tail. It is important to clean the data before analysis. We remove rows where the customer ID is missing, since recommendations need customer history. We keep only transactions where quantity is greater than 0, ignoring returns or cancelled orders. We print the new shape of the clean dataset. Running the cell now. This output shows the clean dataset now contains 397,925 rows and 8 columns, confirming that all transactions have valid customer IDs and positive quantities. Noticing the shape helps verify that removing missing or invalid data has reduced the dataset appropriately, ensuring accurate order-level insights. This step is crucial before any aggregation to avoid skewed revenue or sales analysis in retail analytics. How many unique customers are remaining? Find out with retail_df, customer ID.unique. Let us start by counting how many unique products were bought in the dataset. We use unique to find how many different product stock codes exist. We print the result, which tells us how wide our recommendation options are. Running the cell now. This output shows the total number of unique products purchased in the dataset, which is 3,665. Notice how the code uses the stock code column to count distinct items, highlighting the importance of identifying unique products rather than just total transactions. This helps us understand product variety and is a foundational step before more complex analyses like sales aggregation or recommendation systems. Can you list the first 5 unique stock codes? Try retail_df, the stock code, .unique, 5. Next, we look at how many times each product was purchased. We group the data by stock code and count the number of transactions per product. We print the top 5 most frequently bought products. Running the cell now. This output shows the total number of purchases for each product, identified by a stock code, sorted from most to least. Notice how product 85123A has the highest count, indicating it was bought over 2,000 times. This highlights the importance of correctly grouping by product to understand item-level sales volume, key for inventory and recommendation decisions. Which products are the least purchased? Try prod_counts.tail, 5. We can check who are the most active customers. We count the number of transactions per customer using value_counts. We print the top 5 most frequent shoppers. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 5 customers ranked by their number of transactions, highlighting how many times each customer made a purchase. Notice the large differences in transaction counts, which emphasize frequent shoppers versus less frequent ones. This helps reinforce the importance of correctly counting transactions at the customer level to identify key customers for targeting and recommendations. Pick one customer ID from above and see which products they purchased. For recommendation systems, a customer product matrix is often used. We create a pivot table, where rows are customers, columns are stock codes, and cells show total quantity purchased. We print the shape of this matrix to see its size. We preview the first 3 customers' purchase patterns. Running the cell now. This output shows a customer product matrix with 4,339 customers as rows and 3,665 unique products as columns, where each cell contains the total quantity purchased by a customer for a given product. Notice the sparse nature of the matrix, with many zeros indicating that most customers buy only a small subset of products. This pivot table is key for building recommendation systems, as it aggregates item-level transaction data into a format suited for identifying customer preferences and similarities. A sparse matrix is common, most customers have 0 for many products. A simple recommendation approach suggests the most popular products to everyone. We take the top 3 most purchased products and recommend them broadly. We print this list of popular products. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 3 most popular products across all customers, identified by their product IDs. Notice these are the highest selling items, not tailored to individuals, highlighting a simple popularity-based recommendation. The code's intent is to demonstrate how aggregation helps identify key products before moving on to personalized recommendations. Would this approach work better for new or repeat customers? Think about it. Let us create a recommendation that is tailored for each customer. We define a function to recommend products that people often buy with a customer's last purchased product. If the customer has no purchase, we use the general top 3 products. Otherwise, we find their last purchase, see who else bought it, and look for other popular products among those shoppers. We exclude the last purchased product from the recommendations. We try this on a sample customer, printing the recommendations. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 3 product recommendations for customer 17,850 based on their last purchase, highlighting item-level product codes in the results. Notice how the code leveraged purchase history and co-buying patterns by grouping on a customer ID and stock code to suggest related products, demonstrating the importance of correct aggregation in retail analytics for personalized recommendations. Suggestion: replace sample_ID with any customer ID to test other examples. For more advanced recommendations, we can measure product similarity based on what products are bought together. We import cosine_similarity from scikit-learn to compare product purchase vectors. We transpose our customer_product matrix so rows are products. We compute cosine similarity between all products. We store the similarity scores in a data frame. We choose a sample product. We sort and show the top 5 most similar products, except itself. We display the results to see which products are bought by similar customers. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 5 products most similar to product 10,002 based on customer co-purchase patterns, with similarity scores close to 1 indicating strong relationships. Notice how the cosine similarity ranks products by how often they are bought together, which is crucial for generating meaningful product recommendations. This aggregation at the product level leverages transaction-level data correctly, highlighting the importance of proper grouping in retail analytics. Change sample_product to any stock code to get tailored recommendations. Association rules help retail analysts find which products are frequently bought together. We group transactions by invoice to get each shopping basket. We use counter to tally each unique product pair purchased together. We collect pairs for every shopping basket. We count how often each pair occurs. We find the 5 most common product pairs. We print these pairs along with how many times they were bought together. Running the cell now. This output lists the top 5 pairs of products most frequently purchased together, highlighting common bundles in the dataset. Notice how the counts show the strength of association between product pairs across many invoices, which is crucial for building effective recommendation systems. The code's intent was to identify these frequent co-purchases by grouping items at the order level and counting pair occurrences, emphasizing the importance of appropriate aggregation in retail analytics. Try increasing most_common, 5, to most_common, 10, for more product pair recommendations. Let us build a basket-based personalized recommendation system using set similarity. We use the Jaccard index to measure how similar one customer's purchases are to others. We find the most similar customers' products and recommend items not yet bought by our target customer. We test this method for a specific customer and print the top 3 recommendations. Running the cell now. This output shows personalized product recommendations for customer 14688.0, generated by comparing their purchase basket to other customers using the Jaccard similarity index. Notice the result is a short list of new product codes they haven't bought yet, demonstrating how grouping by customer and set operations help identify similar tastes. This highlights the importance of correctly aggregating item-level data for effective, personalized retail recommendations. Try running this function for several customers and compare the recommendations. Good recommendation systems handle edge cases. We test our recommend_follow-up function on a customer that does not exist in our dataset. This should return the generic top 3 product recommendations. Running the cell now. This output shows the recommendation system returning a product list even for a customer ID that doesn't exist in the data. Notice how the function handles missing customer data gracefully by providing default product recommendations instead of throwing an error. This highlights the importance of error handling when working with customer-level retail data to maintain robust and user-friendly analytics. Always check for data issues before showing recommendations to real customers. Aggregating using average, mean, rather than total, sum, gives a very different recommendation list. We show products with the highest average quantity per purchase, not the truly most popular items. We print the top 5 products by mean purchase quantity. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 5 products ranked by the average quantity purchased per order, but the extremely high value signal a problem. Mean quantity inflates product popularity by ignoring total sales volume. Notice how using mean rather than sum misrepresents demand, underscoring why accurate aggregation, summing quantities across all orders, is crucial for retail analytics and recommendation systems. Ask, would you recommend based on highest mean or highest total sales? Missing values in product or customer columns can break recommendation logic. We create an artificial situation with some missing stock code values. We count and print the resulting number of missing product codes. Running the cell now. This output shows that 398 missing values were intentionally introduced into the stock code, product, column, which helps illustrate how missing data can occur in key retail fields. Noticing the count here is crucial, as missing product IDs can disrupt accurate aggregation of sales and revenue, highlighting why error handling and data cleaning are essential steps before analysis or building recommendation systems. Ask, how would your code handle these missing values when building recommendations? Retail Analytics Best Practices. Segment customers based on purchase frequency or category preference. Use total revenue, not just quantity, for product performance analysis. Analyze which products are frequently bought together for cross-selling. Always validate insights using domain knowledge before deploying. Running the cell now. Segmenting customers by revenue can help target high-value shoppers. We calculate revenue by multiplying quantity by price for each transaction. We group by customer ID and sum revenue for each customer. We print the 5 customers who have generated the most revenue. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 5 customers ranked by total revenue, calculated by multiplying quantity and price, and then summed per customer. Notice how the revenue values reveal high-value customers who contribute the most to sales, aligning with the lesson's focus on segmenting customers based on purchase behavior. Identifying these key customers helps prioritize targeted marketing and personalized offers for better business impact. What business decisions could you make based on this list? Analyzing top products by overall sales is a standard practice. We group all transactions by stock code, summing both quantity and revenue. We print the 5 top-selling products in terms of sales revenue. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 5 products ranked by total revenue, highlighting that high revenue doesn't always correspond to the highest quantity sold. Notice how stock code 23843 leads in both quantity and revenue, illustrating the importance of using revenue for product performance analysis rather than just sales volume. This aligns with best practices by helping focus on the most profitable products for better inventory and marketing decisions. Practice, find the top products by total quantity instead of revenue. Seasonality and timing matter in retail. We pick the most purchased product and look at monthly quantity sold to spot demand trends. We print monthly sales volume for this top product. Running the cell now. This output shows the monthly demand trend for the top-selling product, identified by its SKU 85123A. Notice how demand fluctuates throughout the year, with peaks in January and November, which could indicate seasonal buying patterns. This highlights the importance of time-based analysis to optimize inventory and promotions, aligning with best practices in understanding purchase frequency and revenue trends. Could this insight help you plan inventory or promotions? Let us build a simple end-to-end cross-sell recommendation. What should we suggest a customer based on their purchase history? We find all products bought by the customer. We look for baskets containing any of these products and collect what else was bought in those orders. We count which products appear most often with the customer's purchases and recommend the top 3. We test the cross-sell recommender for one customer and print the result. Running the cell now. This output shows the top 3 product recommendations commonly bought alongside the customer's recent purchases, reflecting cross-selling opportunities. Notice how the code leveraged transaction baskets to identify frequently co-purchased items, highlighting products that could boost revenue when marketed together. This aligns with best practices by using actual purchase patterns to inform targeted, data-driven recommendations. Try using other customer IDs to compare the cross-sell recommendations. For a visual explanation, look for product recommendation systems in retail on YouTube. Well done! Next steps. Practice by tuning recommendation rules or adding your own. Try using product descriptions for better recommendations. Ready to go further? Search YouTube for Retail Analytics in Python to see more tutorials. Running the cell now.